Brian Hartline, is he coming to State College? The word is that he is very interested.
You are listening to the Mark Lesko Podcast, a podcast by diehard fans for fans. Mark covers all things Penn State football and the Pittsburgh Steelers, as well as anything related to the sports and fitness world. Tune in weekly to listen to a couple of dedicated fans talk about these topics without filters. Thank you for listening to the Mark Lesko Podcast.
All right, guys, welcome back in to another episode of the Mark Lesko Podcast. Just me today. Wanted to talk the head coaching hire at Penn State. I'm hearing some things, and they're still the usual names at the top, but I was told some information today. Brian Kelly's getting fired, apparently. They're in talks of firing him. This is interesting, man. Like, Penn State, Florida, Auburn, LSU, all possibly open. So that's pretty crazy. But I was told today, hearing some more buzz about Brian Hartline. Hartline reached out to Kraft, initiated conversations, was told Hartline knocked it out of the park, impressing Kraft. Nothing is 100%, but Hartline was always right there in the mix of head coaches like Elko, DeBoer, etc. if they fell through. I don't think DeBoer realistically will come to Penn State. I just don't know why he would do that. I think he's going to stay at Alabama, keep building there. But in terms of the fan base and whatnot, I mean, might be a little better for him in the sense that the SEC is a different animal, and he might be able to build something more here with a bit more cushion than he would at Alabama. But it is what it is. But Hartline reached out to Kraft, and word is that he is very interested. I've always heard that through his interviews that he did really good. He was very well prepared. But just to give you a bit of his background, went to Glen Oak High School in Ohio, played at Ohio State from 05 to 08. I remember him. He's a fourth-round pick. Went to the Dolphins, and then he was with the Browns. Coaching, started at Ohio State. Quality control analyst on the offensive side. Wide receivers coach at Ohio State. OC and wide receivers coach at Ohio State. Co-OC and wide receivers coach at Ohio State. And now offensive coordinator, wide receivers coach. His recruiting is off the charts. I mean, the best receivers in the country are going to Ohio State. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. The best ones are going to Ohio State. So, at the end of the day, and I say that a lot, at the end of the day, what are we looking for at Penn State? We're looking for preferably a young guy who can recruit. That is something we lacked. Someone who's hungry and will embrace the portal. And Ohio State has done that. And he's learned from great coaches, Urban Meyer, Ryan Day. I mean, winning coaches. He's coached with the likes of Matt Patricia, Chip Kelly. I mean, he has an impressive resume. He's only done amazing things there at Ohio State, and he's been there since his career ended. So make a change, come to Penn State, establish yourself as a head coach at a premier program, a premier job. I mean, he would almost be crazy to pass it up. And I think it's something he should definitely consider. And I think it's something that he's very interested in, for sure, from the information that I'm told. So been there since 2017 at Ohio State. Played there. He's from Ohio. He knows nothing but really Ohio State. Went down to Miami and played there, but he's pretty much been in Ohio his whole life. So Hartline was my top choice as coach as Franklin got fired. He's an elite recruiter, and his recruiting pipeline overlaps with ours. He may be an Ohio State guy, but that job won't be open anytime soon. The only thing that would concern, Colton, the only thing that would concern me with him is whether or not, if the Ohio State job opened up, would he take that? That's the only thing that kind of concerns me with that. YouTube's being choppy, guys. I think. Is the picture okay? Is everything all right on you guys' end? But Oregon looks so bad. Yeah, they do. They do. Thankfully, I said it. They acted like they changed college football, and it was the most historic win of all time, beating us in the whiteout, even though our team has played horribly, and it wasn't that impressive what they did. But they thought, yeah, like our win looks bad, or their win looks bad against us. That's funny. That's hilarious. I know it was raining last night in that Wisconsin game, but man, like they did not look good. They won 21-7. But anyway, I don't know why the picture's so bad right now, guys. Sorry about that. Brian Hartline, like Colton said, elite recruiter. I mean, the best receivers in the country are going there. I mean, the resume is absolutely insane. I'm going to try to find all the that went on, Ohio State receivers that went on to. So Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith, they're easily going to be the next batch. And they got like the number one receiver in the next two classes. I mean, they're killing it in the NFL. Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, Smith and Jigba, Marvin Harrison, Harris Campbell, Jeremiah Smith, Emeka Egbuka, KJ Hill, Devere Posey was another one in there too. But, I mean, the resume is so, the resume across the board. Arctic, I saw your comment. I'll address that. And thanks for prefacing that with not being disrespectful. His resume is absolutely incredible. I mean, he's put a lot of guys in the NFL. So if he would come to Penn State, those guys are coming to State College. They're not going to Columbus anymore. They're coming to State College. And on top of that, receiver recruiting, what pairs well with a good receiver, a good quarterback. And I think he's a young guy, has not been a head coach yet. I mean, that is like perfect for us, that he's young, he's hungry, good resume at Ohio State, has not left Ohio State, would come here, be his first head coaching job. I mean, man, and there would be a ton of support behind him. I don't know much about him personally, but it would be hard to be more arrogant than James Franklin and piss more people off than him. So just across the board, that would be a great hire. And it sounds like, honestly, like if you have a guy who's interested, like I've been told, with that type of resume, with that type of track record, he was a great player at Ohio State. I mean, I think that would be awesome. And I think he would stay. Like, I don't think he would leave for Ohio State if it opened back up, and it probably won't be open for a while. I mean, if you don't beat Michigan, like they want you fired, which is that's the rivalry, man. But I think he would stay. I think he would stay, and he would be here for a long time. The next coach, we don't hire coaches. My teams don't hire coaches. Steelers and the Penn State, they don't fire and hire coaches. Like, they just don't do that. They stay. So a young guy like that, I think, would come. I don't really want like a Mike Elko. And another thing is, I don't know why he would leave, but he is doing well. I mean, they blew out LSU last night. I don't know. He's older. I just want a young, hungry guy who's good at recruiting and will embrace the portal. I mean, my God, what more could we ask for? But I have a question for you, Mark. So at the end of the day, my stance on that is, did he know? Yes. And that's why he told the police, the president, and the AD, which is what he did. I mean, that's a fact. Anything after that is out of his hands. People say he should have done more. He said he wanted to do more. Anybody in that situation would say they want to do more. They should have done more. Anybody would say that. So the incident was reported to him by Mike McQuarrie, which, man, if you really dive into it, check out John Ziegler on YouTube and the framing of Joe Paterno and all of his work. That story from McQuarrie was, I guess, not even true. So, but you guys just listen to ESPN and you just take what they say as fact. I mean, they needed an opportunity to take Joe down, and they did. But we know that it didn't work, and his legacy lives on. But he was told about an incident. He reported it to the head of the Penn State Police, the AD, and the president at a world-class institution. At that point, it's out of his hands. He's exonerated. There is nothing more he can do. There's one line in the book Paterno, which I have. I'll grab it here. This book right here, Paterno, by Joe Pisansky. There's one line in there where he says, I think it was him and Curly. Joe and Curly were talking, and Curly said, Joe and I think we should sit on this or whatever. Did that ever happen? Don't know. And again, he told the police, the AD, and the president. So he's a football coach, guys. He's not a cop. He's not a resource officer. I mean, he's a coach. So should he have done more? What more do you want him to do? I mean, that's I've never seen a guy ever since then or before then or since that told the police about a crime and still got in trouble. I mean, how does that happen? So that's it. I mean, he did what he could do, and Penn State fans across the board, pretty much across the board, are, why would we still support him if we thought that there was something that he let go or he knew about it and covered it up? It makes no sense to cover it up. Why would he do that? They didn't even get along, him and Jerry. So, yeah. People still make jokes, and I just block them. They don't know what they're talking about. So, I'll say this about Mike McQuarrie. I had him as a coach, and he's probably my favorite coach I've ever had. So, he was awesome. How good is Hartline? Emeka Egbuka is the top rookie of the year candidate, and he has wide receiver 3 last year. Yeah, man. That's crazy. Everyone said Dabo would leave for Alabama if it came open, and yet he stayed at Clemson when the opportunity came. Yeah, I don't really want him. I think he's kind of a weirdo, and he does not embrace NIL at all. Also, what do you think about the people saying Sandusky was innocent? I learned about that last year at Indy, and Oregon fan behind me kept calling PSU Penn State. Yeah, well, he's a scumbag. So it's going to happen, guys. People are morons. So, all I can say is watch John Ziegler. He goes in depth with that stuff. And again, you get your information from ESPN. ESPN's absolutely trash. Be one of the first cases of their BS. Yeah, so I was a diehard ESPN before that. And the only time I didn't watch ESPN, I didn't watch it for like a week because the Steelers lost the Super Bowl in 2011, and I didn't want to watch ESPN. That was before. After that, that's when I really cut it off. And then they've just gotten worse and worse. You see ESPN, it's an absolute joke. Feel bad for the innocent staff and fans. They really came after PSU. Yeah. Everyone outside of PSU like to put their own BS spin on it. Yeah, that's right, Alex. And another thing too is, man, people don't know the real story. They just listen to ESPN, and the FBI investigation was a joke. I mean, he proved nothing. I mean, that guy. So sounds like Hartline would be a very good. He would be. He'd be an excellent fit And I would be really, really happy with a guy like that. And it'd be interesting to see who he would bring because, again, we're not just looking for a home run head coach. And I think he would come in, he would embrace the Penn State tradition, like in the good sense where, no names on the jerseys, black shoes, pretty much same jerseys all the time, embrace the culture. But that doesn't mean it's perfect. I mean, there's certain things that, like Penn State and some people that support the program, they need to step to the side and shut their mouth and let them do their thing. That's what they need to do. That's why O'Brien left. He couldn't deal with the politics. I don't blame him. But, yeah, he would be a good fit. I wonder how much Hartline was involved in Will Howard's and Julian Sain's transfers. Probably a lot, man. I mean, that's another thing, too. Like, this offense, and we're going to do a pregame show for Ohio State, but this offense of Ohio State, like, they don't really have much of a run attack. Julian Sain, they really tailor the offense to him, and that's what they should do with that's what they should have done at Penn State. But Kotelnicki can't coach an offense to save his life. He throws the ball downfield. That's something we do not have. We do not have a vertical pass attack at all. But we have a good quarterback and a real coach now. So why did they want Joe Biden? He was a conservative. He always did things right. I mean, he had tons of guys in the NFL, graduation rates through the roof. He did it the right way, man. I mean, and he did not like the media. And if you're a real coach, you shouldn't like the media. Saban didn't like the media. Belichick didn't like the media. I mean, if you're a real coach, you don't like the media. And on top of that, he had many guys that followed him. I mean, Urban Meyer was going to come to Penn State because of Joe. He loved Joe. Coach K from Duke loved Joe. Saban loved Joe. Urban Meyer loved Joe, who I just mentioned. I mean, he was a hero to many, many young coaches. They played Miami in 1999, and they won on the road. That was, and he went on to coach at Cleveland. What was his name? Butch Davis. All right. So Butch Davis, they played at home against Penn State in 1999, and we won. Chaffee Fields caught that incredible pass down the sideline at the end. And to go in there in a Miami, man, in that humidity and heat, I mean, Joe had a towel around his neck the whole game. He was sweating so much. At the end of the game, they said Butch Davis read Joe Pa's keys to coaching in 5th grade. And then he's coaching against them. I mean, yeah, that guy was around for a long time. He's the most famous, best coach to ever walk the face of the earth. I mean, I'm talking Vince Lombardi, John Wooden. Joe Paterno's the best of all time. Urban would be the best. Yeah, he would, for sure. But I hope that answers your question, man. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. Help support the channel. Get us to 1,000 subs, guys. But, I think he would be the next great coach in the lineage of coaches at Penn State, Brian Hartline. And again, nothing is 100%. Like, we don't know. It could be someone we haven't even heard of. I hope Eric Morris is being considered because I think he would be a great hire too. But, Hartline, again, young guy, knows Penn State somewhat. I mean, he played against him for 4 years, knows the history, knows the tradition, and he beat Penn State 2 out of his 4 years at 2 out of his 4 years there, he beat them twice, and we got them in 05 and 08. So, yeah, I remember him playing there. Now, Gonzalez, I think is his name. He's a politician. He's a Democrat. So, Anthony Gonzalez, yeah, don't like that. That's for sure. But I just think that is a very intriguing aspect of this whole process right now. Pat Kraft, we are lucky that we have him right now. And if that guy is reaching out to him with interest, that means he wants the job bad. And I really, really, really hope that they consider that as a very positive aspect, that he wants it. I mean, he's hungry, man. Ohio State, Ohio State is Ohio State. They won't be at the top forever. Their fan base across the board pretty much is absolutely atrocious and don't know football at all. So coming to a place like Penn State probably be a good change for him. He might be he might be ready to move on in a way a little bit. He won a national title. What more can the guy do? He's put countless guys in the NFL. So most bad coaches love the media because they'd rather be a celebrity. A lot of great coaches hate the media because they just want to coach. Yeah. Franklin, I don't know if he liked the media, but he still wasn't good, you know. Even though ASU lost Kenny Dillingham, would be awesome for an electric offense. What do you mean lost Kenny Dillingham? I didn't miss something, did I? ASU lost Kenny Dillingham. Would be awesome for an electric offense. Yeah, you know, there's a lot of guys. Matt Campbell, Kenny Dillingham, Jeff Brom, Elko, Clark Lee. You know, if I were to give, honestly, my top candidates realistically that we could get, it would be maybe I don't know. I'm just going to say Clark Lee, Brian Hartline, Joe Brady. Like, those are my three guys that I think. But here's the thing. We have no control over it, guys, and don't get mad at me, but Matt Roll still wouldn't be off the table. I mean, again, I continue to say what I said. Like, I don't think he has everything he needs in Nebraska. He comes here, he'd have a ton of support. And yeah, his record against good teams is bad, but I mean, he wasn't at Penn State for 12 years. He was at Temple, Baylor, Nebraska. I mean, none of those programs are elite programs, you know. Penn State is damn near elite. So even though our head coach made us look horrible for 12 years, ASU lost. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I thought you meant they lost them. Yeah, for sure. I think he'd still be a good hire. It sucks that Birbila got injured yesterday. Been enjoying watching him start this year. Yeah, I mean, well, that's the thing. We had Zollers in the pipeline too to come to Penn State. He's a Pennsylvania guy, but they, of course, wouldn't pay him enough money. I was told that directly. They wouldn't pay him enough money, otherwise he'd be at Penn State. And Franklin ruined that too. I mean, even though they lost this Saturday, it would still be interesting. Yeah, I think fans underrate. Roll God, Nebraska. Yeah, man, I still think he's like, again, if he came here with all of our support, I think that would be a great fit for him. But, you know, I'm not going to be on here long, guys. Brian Hartline would, I think, fit in really well here. And Ohio State don't have much of a run game. What they're going to do is they're going to try to pass. I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to try to pass. I mean, it's really – and here's the thing. It's going to come down to our defensive line. They got no rush against Oregon and Dante Moore. And Oregon, I think just they're not – they're probably going to the Big Ten title. We'll see. You know, depending on how, you know, between the two teams, I think Ohio State's better, but I guess it would be Indiana, Ohio State, but I think Oregon would still have a shot to get in there because I think Ohio State may get upset at some point because I don't think ultimately they're all that good either, relatively speaking. They beat Texas at home by 1 touchdown. I mean, I know it's the first game, but that wasn't that impressive. Didn't play that well against a couple other teams either. So, you know, Indiana, I think, should be number one. I mean, they're beating the brakes off of everybody. And even a 10-point win on the road against Oregon, that's a dominant win. So I think Indiana should be number one. But again, I think they're going to pass on us Ohio State. They don't have much of a run game. Big Ten statistics across the board, they got like one guy in the top 5. And we have one guy in the top 5, that's Katron. And then for us, it's going to come down to our defensive line and how we block on the O-line. I mean, it always comes down to the trenches. Like, they're going to run Katron. They need to just let Grump do his thing. And we need to see some vertical passing game, guys. They need to scheme it up well. Andy Kotelnicki makes me so mad because his scheme is horrendous. They need to scheme our guys and get them open. Grump can throw the ball. They need to get a vertical passing game. If that means replacing some of the receivers with the younger guys that are good and want to play, then do it. That's what they need to do. I mean, it's not that hard to understand, honestly. It's just, I don't know. It's not that hard of a concept to understand. Like they need to get guys in there that want to play, that give us a shot to pass the ball down the field, because ultimately, that's what's going to help us win. And we can beat Ohio State. I mean, but ultimately what we need to do is do the opposite of what we've been doing the whole season, except for last week. They looked a lot better last week. Run Katron, keep Singleton out, get some of the younger running backs in the rotation so they don't transfer, and get these young receivers in. I mean, they're probably going to transfer regardless because they haven't put them in. But play guys who are going to give effort and want to win the game, because we can win. We could beat Ohio State and Indiana both. And then, another thing too with Hartline is, who would he keep? Like, embracing the tradition. Would he keep Terry Smith? Would he keep Troutwine? Would he keep like Poindexter? Those good coaches, some of the lettermen. I mean, Franklin's going to try to take them, and he's going to go win a national title somewhere else. He's probably going to poach some of the coaches from our program, some of the guys on the roster. Who knows? He's a clown. But I think that's ultimately what he's going to try to do, is going to try to take some guys, but hopefully Brian Hartline would consider some guys to keep, like a Terry Smith, especially if he does well. I mean, he would be considered too, but I think ultimately he would end up maybe staying. I hope he wouldn't follow Franklin, because he's better than that. And, that's another thing Hartline can do. But Texas is depleted. Honestly, Ohio State has played with no one yet, too. Yeah, Kotelnicki is an awful play caller. His first down play calls always set up 3rd and long. He's horrible. His interview was absolutely atrocious. Took it right out of the Franklin playbook. Freaking clown. He is a clown. But if there's one game I expect the defense to show up, it's this one. Jim Knowles knows that Ohio State system well. Yeah. And here's another thing, too, guys. I hope they do keep Knowles, because I know his defense is very complex. It might take him a while to get used to it, but I still think he's like a good coach. Watch LSU fire, Brian. That'd be hilarious. Franklin could not cut it in the SEC. He would not last down there at all. He had everything at Penn State, and he couldn't beat the only 2 good teams he played his whole career. And he's going to go to LSU and play good teams every week. Like, no, he belongs at Virginia Tech. They'll build a statue of him down there. Move Singleton to wide out. He's fast enough and caught some nice passes. Yeah, 100%. But, all right, guys, thank you for commenting. Please subscribe if you haven't. And support us how you can. You'll be able to support us soon through chats and stuff like that. But thank you for tuning in. We will see you guys at least Tuesday night for the pregame show. I'm trying to get a 1 or 2 Ohio State fans on. We'll see. Yeah, hit the like button too. But yeah, guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your comments. And we're going to keep this train rolling, guys. Thank you. You guys have a good night. And we are